What the hell is going on here?
This woman here, Erica Banks, is going viral because of her double BBL being put on. Not a single BBL procedure wasn't enough, but apparently she went back in and got another one, and she's proud of it. Apparently, she's flaunting it. She's doing live shows and she's doing her thing. She's performing, and she, she was dancing for a fan on stage at a recent performance, and it caught the ire of the internet, who just was transfixed on the fact that this plastic cartoonish looking appendage on her body masquerading as a butt is something that she is dug in her hole on. You can't smoke her out of this one. She's very proud about that, but the internet is not holding any compunctions over how they feel about how this thing looks. So this says Erica Banks has the internet disgusted for throwing her controversial BBL back on a fan. We have talked about Erica Banks, I believe, once before on this channel too. So y'all go check that video out. But this says overall, there aren't a lot of folks out there that jive with Erica Banks. That's not to say she has hardly any either. She's built herself up a lot in the hip hop world over the last couple of years, thanks to some big singles, and she's not slowing down. But many out there don't see that angle. You could argue that a lot of that is shrouded in her confident personality and the decisions that she has made outside of music. One of those is definitely the second round of surgery she had done. The internet has felt that her first BBL was more than enough, and many were dubbing it one of the most natural-looking procedures they've ever seen. I beg to differ.
Exactly.
However, she went against all of those compliments and did what she felt was right. From an outsider's perspective, it's been the complete opposite, and she's been dragged relentlessly ever since. To her credit, Erica Banks has never wavered for reconsidered her decision. The Texas FemC has displayed it on many public occasions, proudly, we may add. That happened again at one of her recent performances, in which one fan got to see her BBL up close and personal. She twerked on him as he sat on a chair, front and center, while the crowd went wild. The concert goers seemed to enjoy the display, but unsurprisingly, the same cannot be said for the rest of the internet. So here is said, dance routine on the fan.
Say, if I had one,
Oh, and there you go. I think that pretty much encapsulates the issue here. Well, she definitely got more than her money's worth. I'll tell you that. One fan writes with assumed disgust. Anyone else face scrunched up? Another similarly adds. Others were making references to the SpongeBob SquarePants character Squidward, writing when Squidward ate all the Krabby Patties in the vault. However, there were some taking it there, claiming that Erica will soon regret her BBL. Her removal journey will start in about 5 years. The most likely scenario will be that Erica will continue to press forward regardless of the critique. She's more than used to it now, and we wish her the best going forward. Do they not have people who proofread this stuff before they publish it?
No.
She's more than used to it now, and we wish her the best going forward. Obvious typo there. So what do you think about the internet dragging Erica Banks for her not one but double BBL surgery being on full display?
I mean, yet again, restoring my faith in humanity. I applaud the internet. There's been a lot of times we've been covering topics where the internet had the appropriate reaction to certain things. I love this reaction over the opposite. Is that damn she thick, from the men and the women. You know what I'm saying? Look at all that ass, you know what I'm saying? Or the women saying, "Oh, I need to get like that." I'm hearing women criticizing this, saying it's too much. Guys saying that it's too much.
Thank
I
God.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
And we need more of that mentality. And we've seen this story before. When it comes to people being hooked on plastic surgery, akin to people who get a lot of tattoos. I've got tattoos. I plan on getting more. It's one of those things where people get these things and then, you want to get more. But when people go down and go underneath the knife, like with these situations where they either get, stuff in their cheek, stuff in their lips, nose augmentations, breast augmentations, they never can get enough. They have to keep going back for more. And again, we've seen this story before when it comes to these body mutilation things, uh, with the Michael Jacksons, with the Little Kims, with other celebrities that are out there, Madonna. They have this look where they're never Cardi B. They're never going to stop with these things. It's an addiction.
Yeah.
And so at this point they hit this thing where they say, their butt can get bigger. It's not big enough. The waist can be a little bit trimmer. Ass to hip ratio can be more dynamic, and they just can't get enough. They don't care about the plastic anymore. See, this is what I'm saying. They don't care about none of that. They don't care how fake it looks. So long as their silhouette looks right, they think they did the right thing. And but in practicality, oh boy, I think I speak for a lot of men where I say that we appreciate the softness of a woman. Now, there's some guys out there that like those, you know what I'm saying, those Miss Olympia type ladies. And no knock, fellas, and no knock, ladies, if you like to be, look like Lou Ferrigno. Okay, but I'm not into that. Okay, I like a soft woman to the touch, and I think I speak for a lot of men who feel that way. And one thing that happens, even though these ladies look quite shapely after they get these procedures, their bodies are hard as rocks, and it feels like all of the tires and other pieces of rubber that got put in their bodies. So fat transfer, rigmarole, this or that. You sell me a dream. I think all of that stuff is disgusting, and I'm not here for it. Yeah, man. So I'm glad the internet is outraged about this. We need to keep this up. And there's a meme out there, man, but there's a song out there saying, hey man, these BBLs is killing y'all. And it's true. Because some of these women that go up under the knife, the toxins start seeping in their bodies. And like the article said, somebody commented that, hey, she's gonna have this stuff removed in 5 years because this is not normal. So what are your thoughts, sir, on Erica Banks doubling down, getting a double BBL with cheese? What are your thoughts, brother?
I never liked BBLs ever.
Me.
And I always thought that I was, yet again, here we go. Me being somebody who thinks for himself, and I'm not a conformist. I'm growing up looking at this trend and I'm saying to myself, why is everybody around me saying that this is good while I think it's gross? Am I weird? Am I crazy? Because I think it doesn't look good and everyone else is. What am I missing? Someone please explain to me what I am missing. Because everyone is saying that this stuff looks good and I'm looking at it and I think it looks disgusting.
It's hideous.
I don't know. So I don't know. I must have been missing something. I must be crazy. Whatever. But I never liked it. Was never a fan of it. We spend a lot of time, not me and you, but like people in general. We spend a lot of time talking about hard drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex. These are all things that we have sort of routinely come to identify as vices that one can get addicted to. So we understand that, you can become an alcoholic, you can get addicted to various other drugs, things of that nature. You can be a sex addict, you can get addicted to adult movies, pornography, as you like to call it. um, we all recognize these things, but there are certain things that are just as addictive that we don't talk enough about.
Mhm.
You mentioned getting tattoos. I haven't talked to a single person who has tattoos who hasn't told me that after they got the first one, they just couldn't stop and they just kept
Yeah.
getting more tattoos.
Yeah.
I don't have any, and I've always sort of looked at myself as someone who doesn't have an addictive personality. I can kind of take things in measured doses. So if I were to decide to get a tattoo one day, I feel as though I wouldn't feel the need to get more and more.
Yeah,
But
you said
but everybody who I talk to, everyone who I talk to tells me you're saying that now, but
right.
but if
Yeah.
you get it, it's gonna continue. And so I'm
Right.
like, all right, man, I'll take your word for it. But tattoos, the BBLs, that clearly looks to be an addiction. Cosmetic surgery in general.
You're right.
People who, things they get stuff done to their face or whatever. And it's like, they get the initial rush of feedback from it, and then they just can't help themselves and they continue to get these surgeries. The BBLs also fall into that same category. As someone who is in the gym a lot, I have personally known guys who have gotten addicted to steroids. They experiment with stuff, HGH. They experiment with these things here or there because they want to get a certain kind of achievable result or look. They get a little bit of feedback, and all of a sudden it becomes like crack. They can't help themselves, and they're just shooting up all the time, wrecking their bodies. So these are all things that you can also get addicted to. But here's another thing that, as quietly as it's kept, is more potent in terms of addiction than any of that stuff. And it explains why people like her exist. And it's attention. Attention is perhaps the most dangerous drug known to man, as far as I can tell. Um, the marketplace around attention, the currency of attention, is just as addictive as actual drugs. And the reason why chicks like her do stuff like this is because they get hooked on the feedback and the attention that they get from it. And they get a dopamine rush that is tantamount to the same kind of dopamine rush that you get from having morphine injected into your veins or heroin or taking cocaine. It's a rush, a high that you want to experience over and over again. And the only way that you can continue to experience it at a premium is by continuing to wart your body until it is almost unrecognizable. It's the drug of attention. That's what this is. Um, I mentioned this. I forget what topic we were discussing, but I firmly believe that if you strip the ancillary benefit of attention away from doing stuff like getting BBLs, they'd be doing it way less than they do it.
Of
They'll
course.
tell you all day, every day that they do it for themselves. They want to achieve a certain look. They want to look a certain kind of way to feel better about themselves. But to what end? Who are you doing that for? Because attention is external. We're not talking about confidence or self esteem, which is something that you're supposed to derive internally. You receive attention externally from others, it's a projection. So you want to achieve this look for whom and for what? You need to feed that addiction. It's a drug. That's why chicks like her exist and they can't stop. Cardi B, same thing. We just finished talking about her not too long ago. She, you can look at Cardi B when she first burst onto the scene, post various surgeries, and look at her now, and she looks different.
Hmm.
Nicki Minaj, the same way. If you remove attention from the equation, are they doing it nearly as much? No. Rather, if we are rewarding via adoration actual hard work for achieving one's physical look, would they still be doing it? Of course not. This is all about a means to an end in order to achieve a particular kind of addictive high. In this case, the high that you get from getting certain forms of attention.
Hmm.
It's a drug. That's why chicks like her exist. It's gross. And the last thing that I'll say about this, This is the last thing I'll say, and I'll leave it to you. The floor will be yours for the rest of this topic.
Yeah.
We really do need to dissect why people have become so lazy and so willing to circumvent the system. People really look for, people really do look for circumvention
Mm-hmm.
in any way that they can get it. People want to circumvent the system when it comes to making money. Everybody's trying to scam, steal, lie. People want to circumvent the system when it comes to working out. Oh, instead of working on my body, I'll just, shoot up, take care of steroids, HGH, and all of this kind of stuff. And that's what chicks like this do. It's life circumvention. She doesn't even realize that all she has to do is commit herself to a good diet and a workout routine for about 6 months to a year, and she'll achieve what she's looking for naturally. But that's not good enough for her. She needs the quick fix. She needs the circumvention. I need to have it now because my attention span won't afford me the ability to actually get in there and work for it. And furthermore, I'm quite frankly too lazy to actually work for it. Like people are always looking for circumvention. I see it all the time. It's ridiculous. And that's what chicks like her are doing. It really is sad, but hopefully, well, I don't know, because I mean, she's going to learn her lesson in all likelihood the hard way. And she'll probably get on the internet and cry herself a river like Black China and K Michelle did when they reversed their procedures, talking about, I wish I had never done it. But in the moment, you didn't care. You couldn't see the forest from the trees. You just needed more and more of whatever fix you were getting that prompted you to do that in the first place.
100.
So here you go. Once again, she's a circumventer. Her and other women like her, they are circumventers. I see it in the gym all the time. You get these chicks who come into the gym with BBLs, work out for 20 minutes, and then walk out the door. You didn't do anything. What did you do? Furthermore, you want to get a BBL and then decide to work out, you're hustling backwards. You might as well just stay at the house now and just continue to, do whatever you do in front of your webcam for your crypto dollars. Because you hustling backwards coming into the gym after you did the surgery. If you would have came into the gym first, you wouldn't need the surgery in the first place. And if what you are saying is true, and guys are waking up to this and rejecting this and being more loud and proud and upfront with the fact that we don't want this because we don't like this look, then yes, it will restore my faith in humanity as well, because that will definitely curb the occurrences of this, and it would stop the amount of quantity in which this kind of stuff is happening. But I was never a fan to begin with. I think it's gross.
Hey man, 100, bro. And and to speak on at least for me, so for the tattoo stuff, because I got quite a few, but mine's was attention stuff. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie, and it was attention in this fact that I had wanted to be a rapper. I still got bars, so don't try me out there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but I had wanted to be like a rapper. And I felt like part of the persona from what I was grown up and conditioned with, that part of the persona, man, for people to want to pay attention to you and be on, you got to look the part. So, so all of these were like the beginning works of what was going to be a whole bunch. And, over time, my desire to want to do all of that stuff started to dwindle, and, other things got into play. But to me, these are markers of my life and things that I went through, really, as a person. And one thing about BBLs, man, they're definitely a reflection of, they're like a receipt of what's going on in somebody's brain. And in order to inject yourself with any goddamn thing, something must be a little off. And especially the ones that's catching those cheap flights to Brazil and other areas in South America to get injected with God knows who by not a professional. And at that point, that's a receipt of showing that you probably going through something yourself. So for me, man, these are receipts of times where I was in my head the wrong ways. Luckily for me, I felt as though I got stuff that meant something. I didn't get like a smiley face or a shooting star. But that was what I would tell myself. But there definitely receipts of me going through things, man, because I was going through things when I got it. So clearly, Miss Banks isn't well. And as you said, those girls that's in the gym that's hustling backwards, their backwards hustle shows that they're not well.
Yes.
And the men that are clamoring for plastic also show that they're not well.
Yes.
So these are receipts of people that are really showing sides of themselves that you should be very aware of. And so, what was I also going to say? Yeah, man, I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, man. So Miss Banks, um, get well. But again, once they start reaching this level where they're just doing it on top of one another, like Nicki Minaj, like you can't even tell who these people are. Like they just look like another thing. They don't even really look like human at some point. At that point, man, they've gone off on a deep end, man. And those are people that's like, hey, bro, steer clear. And when it comes to breast augmentations, I can't believe people are still getting those. Man, I never was a fan of those either. So ladies, just leave it alone. Stay natural. If you do have that little inkling of, hey man, just a little something to have fat transfer, don't do it. And stay clean and stay natural out here. That is preferred. And you would get more attention. Oh, trust and believe. But I don't think that's the attention you want. And to tie it back into the analogy we was talking about with the urine pool, you're going to get all the urine pool attendees when you start injecting your body full of this garbage. And all the all the well-to-do people are going to stay away. So stay safe out there, ladies. Stay clean. And don't do it. And stay away from the veneers too. Y'all look like horses.
Yeah, I don't think Erica Banks is checking for well-to-do men. She probably thinks those guys are lame and boring anyway.
Can't hustle those guys, ladies.
Yeah. I hate it. I can't. I've always been more forgiving of the breast implants within reason, only because you got what God gave you. So if you want to fill out a bra a little better, maybe look a little different in a shirt. I hear what you're saying, but I've always been a little more forgiving of that. Not saying that I don't necessarily look for it like I need it, but I've always understood it because you can't help what you got, kind of thing. But when it comes to the butt stuff, I just kind of feel like it's a workaround. Like to me, it's a workaround. It's laziness. Like I call it life circumvention. That's what I call it.
But what if you got a Hank Hill ass?
What do you mean?
You can't work out if you got an ass that's flat as an ironing board. It's an indented ass.
No, it doesn't matter because that's the thing. Like you can tone that up. The thing is, there's no workout where you can make yourself more voluptuous. Yet there are workouts where you can take what you already have and sculpt it into something where you've maximized it, and you will look fantastic. And there's a difference between the two. Again, I'm not necessarily advocating, but I've been more forgiving of it than these BBLs. The BBLs to me are just an abomination. It's an abomination. Your body just doesn't even look proportioned. You look like a cartoon character, in my opinion. The ones that I see that are just super extreme. And yeah, you risk all of these health things, these health risks, not to sound redundant, in the future. And I don't know. I just feel like you shouldn't want that smoke. But I just think at the end of the day, everyone should more readily embrace diligent hard work. Whatever body you want, you can probably achieve it within the context of how you can maximize what you've been given by just sticking to a regimen and being disciplined and working at it. And if you elect to do any of these workarounds, I think it's a reflection upon your character.
Hey, facts, man. Stay safe, ladies. We want natural.